A dose of quotes from Carl Jung. The meeting of two personalities is like the contact of two chemical substances. If there is any reaction, both are transformed. Everything that irritates us about others can lead us to an understanding of ourselves. Your visions will become clearer only when you can look into your own heart. Who looks outside dreams, who looks inside awakes. I am not what happened to me, I am what I choose to become. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. You are what you do, not what you say you will do. Loneliness does not come from having no people about one, but from being unable to communicate the things that seem important to oneself, or from holding certain views which others find inadmissible. Knowing your own darkness is the best method for dealing with the darkness of other people. The pendulum of the mind oscillates between sense and nonsense, not between right and wrong. Every form of addiction is bad, no matter whether the narcotic be alcohol, morphine, or idealism. The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. People will do anything, no matter how absurd, to avoid facing their own souls. The most terrifying thing is to accept oneself completely. There is no coming to consciousness without pain. One does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious. Show me a sense man, and I will cure him for you. No tree, it is said, can grow to heaven unless its roots reach down to hell. In all the chaos there is a cosmos, in all disorder a secret order. Mystics are, after all, the foundation of truth, and if a man does not know what a thing is, it is at least an increase in knowledge if he knows what it is not. Whatever is rejected from the self appears in the world as an event. Thinking is difficult, that's why most people judge. We cannot change anything unless we accept it. How can I be substantial if I do not cast a shadow? I must have a dark side also if I am to be whole. The greatest strategy of the family is the unlived lives of the parents. Where love rules, there is no will to power, and where power predominates, love is lacking. The one is the shadow of the other. The shoe that fits one person pinches another. There is no recipe for living that suits all cases. There are as many nights as days, and the one is just as long as the other in the year's course. Even a happy life cannot be without a measure of darkness, and the word happy would lose its meaning if it were not balanced by sadness. Shame is a soul-eating emotion. The creation of something new is not accomplished by the intellect, but the play instinct acting from inner necessity. The creative mind plays with the objects it loves. The best political, social, and spiritual work we can do is to withdraw the projection of our shadow onto others. To find out what is truly individual in ourselves, profound reflection is needed, and suddenly we realize how uncommonly difficult the discovery of individuality is. What you resist persists. The first half of life is devoted to forming a healthy ego. The second half is going inward and letting go of it. About a third of my cases are suffering from no clinically definable neurosis, but from the senselessness and emptiness of their lives. This can be defined as the general neurosis of our times. The reason for evil in the world is that people are not able to tell their stories. Holiness is not achieved by cutting off a portion of one's being, but by integration of the contrarious. Nights, through dreams, tell the myths forgotten by the day. Every human life contains a potential. If that potential is not fulfilled, then that life was wasted. Sensation tell us a thing is. Thinking tell us what it is this thing is. Feeling tell us what the thing is to us. I must also have a dark side if I am to be whole. It all depends on how we look at things, and not on how things are in themselves. The least of things with the meaning is worth more in life than the greatest of things without it. Anyone who attempts to do both, to adjust to his group and at the same time pursue his individual goal, becomes neurotic. Deep down below the surface of the average man's conscious, he hears a voice whispering, there is something not right, no matter how much his rightness is supported by public opinion or moral code. There can be no transforming of darkness into light and of apathy into movement without emotion. Art is a kind of innate drive that sizes a human being and makes him its instrument. To perform this difficult office, it is sometimes necessary for him to sacrifice happiness and everything that makes life worth living for the ordinary human being. If one does not understand the person, one tends to regard him as a fool. Words are animals, alive with a will of their own. The healthy man does not torture others. Generally, it is the tortured who turn into torturers. Find out what a person fears most, and this is where he will develop next. Sometimes you have to do something unforgivable just to be able to go on living. Without this playing with fantasy, no creative work has ever yet come to birth. The debt we owe to the play of the imagination is incalculable. Midlife is the time to let go of an over-dominant ego and to contemplate the deeper significance of human existence. When an inner situation is not made conscious, it appears outside as fate. The bigger the crowd, the more negligible the individual becomes. My whole being was seeking for something still unknown which might confer meaning upon the banality of life. In each of us there is another whom we don't know. If the path before you is clear, you're probably on someone else's. The true leader is always led. Nobody, as long as he moves among the chaotic currents of life, is without trouble.